Good evening. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Just getting started a little bit late, but want to thank everyone for joining in. How's everyone doing this evening? Everyone's doing okay this evening? Good, good, good. Just getting everything started. I had something else prepared for this evening, but I'm going to take a different direction. So let me just get all the formality out the way for all of you all who do not know me. I am Joe McDaniel with the Joe McDaniel and Associates. I'm a real estate broker in the Metro Atlanta area and also a real estate advisor. And that's basically what I'm doing now is more real estate advising. And I've been in the business now for 30 wonderful years. And so I'm here to try to help us build wealth via real estate and other means. I primarily are going to be bringing you things dealing with real estate in my own personal situations, and I will be bringing to you all professionals that can help you also in other areas. I had planned to talk to you all concerning the secrets of wealth. But because of some things that has happened, um, these things have made me really want to kind of diverse a little bit and talk to you about something that I had prepared a while back, but I was going to bring this up later on in my particular sessions, but I'm going to go ahead and bring it to you now. And it's called my trademarked Legacy Ready Plan, the Wealth Shift Legacy Ready Plan. And it's your personal family transition and information workbook. Now, when you have a consultation with me, I will have this booklet for you there to make sure that you understand the importance of legacy planning and being ready when it's time to actually transition. Now, it's interesting to me, and I want you all to talk to me and tell me really how many of you all are actually prepared to transition. I I find it very interesting that this is the only thing in life that's sure. Now, the time, the place, date, we're not sure of, but we are sure of one thing. We all are going to transition from this life to whatever you believe is going to happen next after we leave this life. But what I find so often is that people are not prepared to transition. They prepare for going to school, they prepare for getting a job, they prepare for having a family, they prepare for even getting a house, thank God. They prepare for marriage, just all of that. But no real effort goes into planning for your one thing that we all can be sure we're going to have to do, and that's transition. And for us that are believing in the wonderful afterlife of being with our God, it's a what can we say? Bittersweet thing. Glad to go see the Lord and hate to leave our loved ones here. But from the things that some people have said that have had a so-called near-death experience, it's a beautiful, wonderful thing to transition. So what we're going to talk about tonight, because again, I am really a little disappointed that a lot of people, we know people like Maritha, who it took them forever to find a will for her, and other people who I know have transitioned, and it hasn't been a pleasant process for the family. And what I want you to do is realize that even though you know you're going to be not knowing really or having to deal with, even if you know you're not going to have to deal with all the things that occur that really can put some stress and strain on your family. So we're going to talk about, and like I said, I have a 20-page booklet that I tell people do like I do every month. This is my birthday month, so I'm going to send you all something about my birthday month on the day of my birthday, which is the 28th of August, so y'all can all prepare for that day. But during my birthday month is when I really sit down and get all of my business updated and make sure everything is in order. So I'm starting to do that this week. And so when this came up, I decided that yes, this is a perfect time for me to divert a little bit and bring this forward some instead of having it toward the end. Now, in order to get legacy ready, you're going to have to put things down in writing. And you know how much we hate to read and write, but we're going to have to do it. So I have a 30-day plan, give you a little time. But if each one of you all will commit during your birthday month, if the Lord bless us to get there, let's commit to doing this. And again, all you have to do is you can put it in the chat, which you probably don't want to do. You can DM me and send me your email and just say legacy plan or just say transitioning plan or just say anything. And I will actually email this to you. You can email me at Joe McDaniel, JOMCDANIEL, at Bell South, I'm telling my age, BELLSOUTH.net. And just tell me you want it, and I will send it back to you in a PDF that you can print out and you can prepare this. And it's similar to if any of you all have done, like I have prepaid for my service. I'm not going to have a service, but prepaid for my funeral arrangements, or should I say transitioning arrangements. I prepaid for that so I wouldn't leave anybody here either waiting on insurance money, because that is a process. And for any of you all who have not gone through this with anybody close, it's a process because you got to wait some days. Even if you rush your death certificates, you got to wait some days before you can get your hands on any of the other person's money, even if they're leaving everything to you. If you're the beneficiary of their checking, savings, any kind of accounts, you're going to have to wait on that death certificate. And then if you're waiting on their insurance money to be able to bury them, that's a process in itself too, because even when you get the death certificate, you can't just go and get the insurance the next day like you can possibly the money from the bank. You're going to have to wait for it to be processed, and sometimes that can be 2 to 3 weeks. So it's very good that you take this legacy plan and put it in place so that you will be able to actually be prepared. Now, I'm not an insurance person, I'm a real estate person, but the process I have gone through for my father and my mother and my family members, so I do understand the process. Now, you're going to need to start by one thing. I would have one, possibly two. It's always good to do things in twos if you can. Two people who will know where this is stored. You don't want anybody to know. Just two trusted people to know where this information is stored. So when it's time for them to get it, they're not scrambling. And that's what I'm having to do because, you know, I always call things that I want in existence. And so my pastor preached about that Sunday. Ooh, he had me shouting Sunday. And shouting from my bed, y'all. But that's okay. I was shouting. I'm an online member. Yes, I'm an online member, and thank God he's okay. He's got my legs to where I have to be an online member more than I go. But I really enjoyed that sermon, and it says what you see is what you get. And since I've always seen a lot of money, I got accounts all over the place. I got account in every bank almost because I just see money flowing, and you can't have but so much insured at one bank. So I just got money all over the place. So if I don't write this stuff down, my family, by the time they get through finding my money, they're probably gonna be so frustrated. But anyway, so you're going to write this stuff down. You're going to get two people you trust to tell them where it is. And you want to store this in a very safe place. Like if you got a safe somewhere in the house or somewhere off site or a safe deposit box, somewhere you need to store this information. Preferably electronically, if you can get to those people electronically, because they can pull it up faster than trying to come in. Because sometimes they get into situations where other family members won't even let them into your property. So it's good if you can do this electronically, send this information over. That's what I have done. I have sent it electronically to the person and people who are going to handle my estate once I leave. And then we're going to go through this, and I'll tell you the things you need to start getting together in order to be prepared. And I want you to complete one section at a time. Just take out on the weekend. It won't take but a couple of hours. It's not going to take long on the weekend, and you'll be through by your birthday month. All right. I want you to, if you can, keep legal documents in a secure location. And again, I would create a I do everything by encrypted sending over encrypted documents. And I would send this over to the person because again, if they can get to it quickly, it's better. But I would send all the legal documents and things that I have and information I have over to these trusted people. Or if you only have one person, that's fine. If you do one person, it's got to be somebody you've known for a while and that you really can trust. All right, now you're not going to write down full passwords, PIN numbers, or social security numbers, any sensitive information. So in an unsecured document or unsecured place. So make sure again all this stuff is encrypted, and you have somebody who is not going to really be opening this stuff and printing it out and those kind of things, so that nobody will get their hands on it. Okay, now one of the things you need to do that really, 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 I heard somebody say it almost got them in trouble. Make sure you review all of your beneficiaries and account ownership information. Make sure you review that. One person almost had a situation to where they realized they didn't have who they wanted on their beneficiary. So make sure you review that each year. And each year, review your wills and anything like that where you have designated people, because sometimes those people will pass before you. Those people will move and become maybe sometimes incapacitated, and they're not going to be able to do it anymore. So make sure that you make your life important enough that we spend this 30 days on it, instead of you working, and then finding out all the stuff you work for is in shambles. So let's do that, okay? Now, you're going to write down the date that you did this, just in case some reason you don't get finished and you don't get your will finished. This can possibly serve as some information for people to know what to do. You're going to write down who your trusted people are. You're going to write down where you're going to store these important documents. And then, of course, I recommend you review it on your birthday month. And then that way you don't have to remember the last time you reviewed it. So I try to do things as simple because I have a lot to do, so I keep things simple. Okay, and then it just asks you for personal information, your name, preferred name, date of birth, home address, primary phone, primary email, employer, marital status, spouse, name. Then it talks about your documents. Where's your birth certificate located? Where's your marriage and divorce documents located? Where's your passport? Where's your military records? And any other important information that you have, it's going to ask you for that information as well. Then it's going to give name and phone numbers of people who you want to be directly contacted when something does happen, like you transition. Okay. So you're going to have the name of the person, the role they play in your life or the relationship, phone number, and emails. And you can put how many other people up. This book will give you 6 people to put in. Okay. And then the other thing that you're going to want to do is talk about what your final wishes are. The person I want to coordinate my arrangements, the funeral home, if you know them, the church, the clergy, or the officiant, because one of the things, family members can, you have a long time pastor you love, and then they're like, I don't know those people. We're going to bury you over here. We're going to have your service over here. So you need to have all of that in place so that you won't be looking down. For you all that believe you can look down and see things that's going on, you won't be up in heaven glad that you can't see any of them, because otherwise you would be ready to come down and do something to the person that's got you being your eulogy being done by somebody other than your wonderful pastor. I know I wouldn't be pleased. So put all of that in there. The place of the service, the burial, whether or not you want to be cremated or buried. Because nowadays people are doing more cremations, but some people don't like it. But that may be what you want done. So you can talk about that. And then talk about your, do a little program that tells the music you like, the scriptures you like, anything special, any kind of special request you want, and other wishes or instructions. All right. So that your service will be nice and like you want it. Even if you prefer to wear a certain color, because I know one lady was real flashy little lady. And baby, she wore her reds and her beautiful pinks, and oh, she was just so flashy. And then they buried her in white. We were like, oh, okay. We never saw her in white. But anyway, so it may not matter, but if it does matter and you want to be like my natural mother who passed, honey, she had it down. I mean, it was just so beautiful and floral, and oh, her dress was beautiful. But honey, she had everything down. So we were not going to bury her in a white dress. All right. Next, we want to talk about our legal documents. We want to say, do we have a will? Who is the key contact person? A trust, because some of you all, may have trust and stuff, and I forgot who the attorney is, or the attorneys are. Whether or not you have a financial power of attorney, whether or not you have an advanced health care directive. So many of us don't have that. And that's telling if you were to get sick, what would you want done? Certain things, like would you want to be on a ventilator? Yes and no. Things like that. And who would you want to make decisions for you? All of that is important. Because I'm telling you, these families would really get to fussing a lot of times. It can really cause havoc in the family. Small things like that. Where are your deeds and your property records, your vehicle titles, your business agreements, and anything else? So write down your attorneys, all of that, their phone number, email, all of that. So it'll be real easy. And this will be easy for you too when you're trying to remember, because some of us, Lord have mercy, we may have done a trust or a will so long ago, and we can't even remember the attorney, and we can't find the will. So let's just make sure that we write this stuff down, and it just will help us so much as well. Then let's talk about the money, insurance, and benefits. You're going to write down the banks, the type of accounts, your retirement accounts, your investments, pensions, life insurance, annuities, and other benefits Okay, you're going to write all of that down so they will know how to get in contact with whomever. What banks. I'm going to need more lines than this, but I gave most people what they need. Okay, if you need more, I got a blank space in there that you can write some more. And again, this right here is just for all of your insurance policies. It does, once again, let you split them out and make sure you've checked the beneficiary, and it kind of gives you a place to put where the date is that you last checked it. And then it tells you, are there any actions that's needed? Okay. Then next, we have my debts and bills and monthly obligations, because a lot of that comes out of your estate. So, you all may find out that you're fighting for nothing. In other words, in other words, I'm sorry. That was not nice to say. But in other words, they may have so many debts until that estate money will be eaten up pretty quickly. So they need to tell you what debts they have. And then in case somebody tries to claim that they have a debt that they may not have listed, or so you have to investigate that and not just necessarily let the attorney take it out of the estate. Okay. And it got one feature in there that's real good. Is it on auto pay? That's very important, because if it's on auto pay, it would just keep going and going and going, and you possibly could be losing some money, interest and all of that, because a lot of times you can stop a lot of those things when a person dies. All right. And then my real estate, all this wonderful real estate property you all have bought from me or buying from me or gonna buy from me. And we need to list that so we will know how the title is held, in case somebody else is on the title that you need to notify. Who the mortgage company is, who the insurance company is, the HOA contact, the tenant and property manager, and well, you can just write my name in right here for the real estate professional to contact. Okay. And I should have written my name in there, but that's okay. I'll let you write it in so you feel like, I'm not taking over now, but that's where my name goes. And instructions or other important information. And I gave you 3 spaces for that. You can add and make copies and do more, but I expect all of us to at least have 3 properties. Okay. Now, it talks about your digital life. And it just gives a little checklist to make sure, okay, your primary email, address, the phone access, because all of us got passwords on our phone, computer access, cloud, photos, social media accounts, websites, digital financial accounts, recurring digital subscriptions that we all have that's coming out of our money. Okay. So it talks about all of that to trigger you on your digital life. Okay, now my business or work. Your employer, key person to contact, their phone number. If you have a business, who is the person that can legally make decisions for you according to your operations manual, your operations procedures? Where contracts and corporate records are stored, the information for that banking, payroll, and bookkeeping, clients and customers you may need to notify, whether you have them in a CRM or not. License renewals or deadlines, that's important. And what you want to happen to your business. A lot of us are running single LLCs. I'm a single member LLC. So what do I want to happen to my business? I need to let somebody know that. Do I want it dissolved or what? Most likely it's going to be dissolved as a single member, but still you can kind of tell people how you want that process to work. And then personal property, that's very important to you. And you would not believe how many family members fuss over personal property. And a lot of times in your will, you won't go back and put these little small things in. But what you can do is have the items if you've written books that you may want someone to have the transcript to and have, rights to. Just a lot of different stuff. Some jewelry. I know old people fight over jewelry, and just because it's not so valuable, you would think. Trust me, they fight over jewelry. Clothes, they fight over clothes. I mean, it's just, I've seen it all. I've seen it all. Okay. So make sure you list those. And then something that is really, really nice that I decided to put in here. And it is something called My Message to the People I Love. And it's like what I want you to know. And you can do this individually or collectively. You may have some of these that you want to go to specific people and you just write who you want to go to, or maybe something that you just want to leave that they can kind of incorporate into your service or whatever. What I am most grateful for, what I hope you carry forward, anything I never want to leave unsaid. Okay. Okay. Beautiful. That's beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. Next, we have the 30-day plan I kind of put together for you to keep you going. And all it does is it tells you what to do in week 1, things to do in week 2, things to do in week 3, and things to do in week 4. Because some people, they get overwhelmed when you give them a book like this. So I just tried to help you by showing you it doesn't have to be complicated. And just start it. And then every year you can add to it, modify it. Now that's the reason I do everything where you can type Word. I send you a Word and a PDF copy because some people like to type. I like to type because it's easier to go back and modify. But some people really like to write. So I want it to be a PDF where you can just print it out and write on it and keep it because everybody doesn't like to type. Okay. And I thought that was very, very important. And I wanted to let you know that I'm really, really concerned about us all doing a better job at handling our business before we transition, because it leaves truly a serious emotional strain, excuse me, on the family. So let's do that. Let's go ahead. I'm sorry, toward the end. Let's get our insurance in place. Thank you. So many people don't have insurance. Unbelievable. If we don't want to have insurance, let's go get a payment plan started at the funeral home so that we can start paying on and pay a little bit at a time if we don't want to do insurance, especially people who are older because it's so expensive. You may as well start paying on your planning of your services, because I tell you, I looked and saw that in a few years, I'm not going to tell you my age because y'all would be so shocked. You wouldn't believe me. But anyway, in a few years, I'm going to be paying so much a month in insurance. I said, oh no, that's not going to work. So that's why I went ahead and prepaid for my service and started investing my money instead, because I make a lot more money investing it than I do putting it into an insurance policy because of my situation. Now, everybody talk to an insurance person. Don't make decisions based on what I'm doing and saying, because all of us have different situations. All of us have different amounts of money saved. All of us have different people that need. I don't have children, so that makes a big difference. And yeah, so sit down with your insurance person, a person that deals with trust and wills, your accountant, your real estate person, your business counselor, all of those people. Sit down with them individually. And like I said, I would be bringing people on with me once I get us through the wealth shift basics, I'll be bringing them on. And for my members who are a part of the Powerful Wealth Builders, I have a membership. It's $27 a month. They actually will be getting that information anyway, even before they get finished, because I'll just bring people on as they can. But I'm not going to bring them on Facebook until we get finished with everything I want to say about the wealth shift. So anyway, once again, we need to take serious our transitioning. We need to have our insurance in place, our legacy ready plan in place, all of our trust, all of our everything that we need to do, wills, all of that. I'm going to have a session with you all when I get farther into the wealth shift about probate to kind of explain that to you. And why you probably, if you have children or businesses, you want to have a trust. Once again, to keep from holding things up, keep from things being handled the way you don't want it handled, all of that. So we need to make sure that we understand probate and understand when we go through probate and what goes through probate. Okay, so I'm going to end a little sooner tonight. If you have any questions, you can always DM me and get your questions answered. And I tell you, this is something we don't talk about much, but it's something that's going to happen to each one of us. So let's be prepared for it, like we're preparing for other things that we don't know if it's going to happen, but we do know this is going to happen. So once again, I'm Joe McDaniel with Joe McDaniel and Associates, helping you with the wealth shift, because we are going to have to shift because we want to own and control. Okay, and be prepared to not just work for money, but to learn how to get our money to work for us. So until next week, let's do the wealth shift. Good evening, everybody.